If you could look back on your entire life today, would you feel proud of the life you've lived? It's a question most of us rarely stop to ask. But according to Erik Erikson, it's the defining challenge of late adulthood. After a lifetime of learning, growing, loving, working, and giving back, people eventually reach a point where they begin reflecting on the life they've lived. Today, we're breaking down Erikson's eighth and final psychosocial stage, integrity versus despair. By the end of this video, you'll understand why reflection becomes so important later in life, what it means to achieve integrity, and why acceptance, not perfection, is the key to finishing life's journey with peace. Integrity versus despair occurs around 60 years of age and beyond, during late adulthood. By this point, people have experienced successes and failures. They've built relationships, made difficult decisions, faced disappointments, celebrated achievements, lost loved ones, and learned lessons that only time can teach. Now they face one final question. Not, what will I leave behind? But rather, did I live a meaningful life? At this stage, people naturally begin looking back. They remember childhood, friendships, careers, family, the risks they took, the opportunities they missed, the people they loved, and the mistakes they made. The goal isn't to pretend life was perfect. It's to see the whole picture and accept it. When people can honestly look back and say, I did the best I could with the life I was given, they develop what Erikson called integrity. Integrity doesn't mean a life without regrets. Everyone has regrets. Instead, it means accepting both the joys and the hardships as meaningful parts of your story. It's recognizing that every experience, good and bad, helped shape the person you became. Think about an older grandparent sharing stories with their grandchildren. Some stories are funny, some are painful, some involve mistakes they'd never want repeated. But they're willing to share them because they've made peace with their past. They're no longer trying to rewrite their story. They're trying to pass its lessons on. That's integrity. But what happens if someone can't accept the life they've lived? Imagine constantly replaying old mistakes, dwelling on missed opportunities, believing it's too late to make peace with the past. Instead of gratitude, regret begins to dominate. Instead of acceptance, bitterness takes its place. This is what Erikson described as despair. It's the feeling that life was wasted, that time has run out, and that things can never be made right. Of course, no one reaches this stage with a perfect life. That's not what Erikson was asking. His question was much deeper. Can you accept your life, even with its imperfections? Can you find meaning not only in your successes, but also in your struggles? That's what allows people to face the future with peace rather than fear. When this conflict is resolved successfully, people develop the virtue of wisdom. Wisdom is more than knowledge. It's the ability to understand life with perspective, compassion, and acceptance. It's recognizing that every stage of life has something to teach us. It's the quiet confidence to say, my life mattered. If this stage isn't resolved successfully, Erikson believed people may experience despair, hopelessness, bitterness, and a profound fear of death. For board exams, unresolved integrity versus despair is classically associated with fear of death, hopelessness, regret, and dissatisfaction with one's life. These are developmental associations within Erikson's theory, not direct causes, but they're important concepts to recognize. Here's an easy way to remember this stage. Imagine someone sitting in a rocking chair, flipping through an old photo album. Each photograph tells part of their story. Some bring laughter, some bring tears. Some remind them of mistakes. Others remind them of incredible joy. As they turn each page, they're really asking one simple question. Can I accept the life I've lived? When the answer is yes, integrity grows. When regret and bitterness overshadow everything else, despair begins to take hold. So let's quickly summarize. Integrity versus despair occurs during late adulthood, beginning around 60 years of age. During this stage, people reflect on their lives and search for meaning in the experiences they've had. Acceptance of one's life leads to integrity and the virtue of wisdom. Persistent regret, hopelessness, or an inability to accept the past can lead to despair, making it difficult to find peace in later life. Ultimately, this stage teaches one powerful lesson. A meaningful life isn't a perfect life. It's a life you can accept with gratitude and wisdom. Before we finish this series, let's take one final look at Erikson's 8 psychosocial stages. A newborn asks, "Will someone come?" A toddler asks, "Can I do it myself?" A preschooler asks, "What happens if I try?" A school-aged child asks, "Am I good at this?" An adolescent asks, "Who am I?" A young adult asks, "Can I share my life without losing myself?" A middle-aged adult asks, "What will I leave behind?" And finally, an older adult asks, "Did I live a meaningful life?" That's the remarkable journey Erikson described. 8 stages, 8 challenges, 8 virtues, each one building on the last, reminding us that development doesn't end in childhood. It continues throughout our entire lives. Thank you for joining me throughout this series on Erik Erikson's psychosocial development. I hope these videos have made one of psychology's most influential theories easier to understand and easier to remember. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next episode.